Well, hello everybody. This is the first chance of going out for a ride today to show you a bit around. I haven't done any proper recording on the bike yet, but we're gonna just take a trip into Barcelona, just on the beachfront around there sort of area, and just show you how the bike performs. I think this seat cover is about ruined, so we'll have to get another one for maybe next year if we go touring again. Very raspy. I've got it in rain mode, as you can see, and in rain mode, because I put it down to that because I wanted to save some fuel, if that made any difference to that, because it is quite heavy if you give it some. So I thought I'll use rain mode and see if we can save a bit of fuel that way, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now the good thing about the thing I really love about this bike is that it's not that uncomfortable, to be honest, even though it's a sports superbike type position. It's actually not that bad. You're not hunched over. I mean, when I got my original ZX10, it was so cramped. You know, after half an hour, your legs and your knees started hurting. But this is actually not that bad. It's pretty good. I mean, you can go for an hour and a half before you have to sort of take a rest. But any sports bike, any super bike that you ride in, you're going to get problems with your seating and that sort of thing. It's going to happen. It's just one of those things of riding this type of bike. But to be honest, I wouldn't ride anything else, because the exhilaration and the performance of these machines is just far superior than anything else. And that's the idea why you buy them. You know, I've had so many bikes in my lifetime I can't even remember, but I've never been interested in adventure bikes. I have no interest in those whatsoever. They just don't appeal to me in looks, in handling, in everything else. Naked bikes aren't too bad as long as they're super naked, like the MT10 and the Aprilia Tuono, things like that, because they're more or less half fed, so you get a bit of protection with that. Classic bikes I have no interest with. They just don't appeal to me aesthetically and design wise. I think most older people ride those because they just take them back to when they were kids, and their fathers used to ride them, not because they outperform everything else. It's because they just like to reminisce about their bikes of that particular time when they were young. Okay, I'm not that young, but I was never interested in those particular bikes anyway. I mean, during the late 80s, early 90s, I was looking at FZR1000s and GSX-R1000s and all the other big super bikes at that time. So I wasn't even interested in anything to do with those particular bikes, only to do with the fact that these bikes here, these modern bikes, have come a long way now from what they were in the 80s. With the rawness and the lack of electronics. I think most people can ride these newer bikes now comfortably, using the electronics to sort of help them out. where if you can turn them off, then you're getting the sort of raw experience, because they're a lot more powerful than they were in the 80s and 90s. I mean, I was looking at getting the motor KB399, which is the Kawasaki derived boutique brand that they've just developed and they've just designed, and it looks incredible. It really does look beautiful. They've done an amazing job. I think it looks a lot better than the actual Kawasaki ZX4 itself, even though the ZX4 itself still looks pretty impressive for a sort of design aesthetics and for a sport bike. But the motor just takes it to a new level, and I'm very tempted to get one of those, because I think the 400cc market is just exploding, because it's far more usable than this or a litre bike, because you've got more access to the power. This thing has got huge amounts of torque with it, so you can pull in any gear, and you know, the actual enjoyment of riding a superbike at this sort of speed is it's just on a new level. The temperature today is not too bad actually. At the moment it's about 30, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool at the moment for this time. I mean, later on in the afternoon it gets to about 36, 37, which is just absolutely stifling. And even when I was riding the other day, the heat, the pockets of heat that used to hit, wow, honestly it was like somebody standing in front of you with a hairdryer on full blast on the highest heat. It was it's shocking. But you know, when people say, oh, you know, ride properly, you know, sensible, as a biker on a, I don't know what that was. There's a lot of custom bikes here as well. There's hardly any sports bikes. Don't know what that was. Yeah, there's not many sports bikes here. Mainly scooters and smaller capacity bikes, obviously, because that's the type of thing that it's more accessible and more useful in sort of these parts. Speed cameras, I haven't come across that many, to be honest, and some of them are smashed. So it looks like the locals don't like the idea of the state intervening with their enjoyment, so they sort of send them a message. And of course, when I consider roads like this, they don't need speed cameras because they're wide open. You can see quite clearly. You know, you don't need them. As long as the road is clear and you're riding within your capabilities, there's nothing wrong. You know, we're doing 80, 90 miles an hour down here. Nothing wrong with it. Obviously, you've got to be prepared for idiots that don't sort of obey sensible driving conditions and whatever. But nonetheless, I think if you're riding and you're just skillful riding, then it's okay. I mean, I can feel the temperature now slightly creeping up. I mean, when you're riding along here, you can feel the pockets of hot air. You know, it goes a bit cool, and then you hit a pocket of hot air. Wow, it's incredible. It really is. See, this bike itself, look, you can cruise. You switch the cruise control on. You just see the dash. Switch it on there. There goes green. There you go. That goes. Oh, it's on the throttle then. That's why. There you go. The throttle. There you go. Cruise at 60 miles an hour. You know, you can give your hand, shake your wrist off, rest your shoulders, rest your arms. You know, and it's beautiful. It gives you a nice rest. And I say, you can do this on a long stretch without any worries, and it takes a lot of the strain away from the actual riding experience. So it's pretty good. But going on to the bike itself, I mean, I've done, what, 2,370 miles, and I've still got to do another 1,000 miles back home. So it's going to be getting on for 3,500 miles by the time the bike gets put away again for this year. I mean, that's when I bought the bike in November last year. We would have done nearly 3,500 miles in that period. So really, it's not bad. I mean, I've had no problems with it. Like I say before, I've had the fueling issue needs to be done, even though it seems to be okay. It seems to be okay this morning. Maybe it's just in the normal and sport mode it's a problem. I don't know. But you know, I think that once I get back, and maybe for during the autumn winter, I'm going to get this thing mapped, get it flashed. And also I was reading the other day that this bike itself actually can produce 160 horsepower, but they've reduced the power output for some bizarre reason. I don't know, maybe for emissions or whatever, and decided to go with 129 horsepower. So when I was looking into it further, it is correct. The engine is capable of producing 160 horsepower, which it looks as though I'll probably start looking into for next year. I think if I can actually squeeze that power out of it, getting it mapped and whatever. I think the cams will handle the extra power, because, like I say, it's the Brutali engine, so this should be okay. Should be okay with doing that sort of power. But also, I adjusted the rear shock 3 clicks softer, because of the weight. When I go back home on Monday, the extra weight on the back, it's probably softened up a little bit. As well, because I don't want it too stiff. If it's just me with no luggage, I'll stiffen it back up again. But otherwise, I'll just try and soften the rear suspension a bit to make it a bit more comfortable over the bumps and whatever. But apart from that, though, you can see yourself, it handles beautifully. You know, it is a really nice handling machine. You know, it does go into corners well. Okay, it's a bit weighty, but the one thing about this though, even though you have to sort of tease it into a corner, it's so planted and so stable. You know exactly the line it's taking, and you feel so secure on it that you know you're not going to drift, and it feels so safe because of the weight. And that's the advantage. When you are having a lighter bike, okay, it's going to tip into corners quicker, it's going to steer faster, but sometimes they don't hold the line well, and they don't feel very stable or planted on the road, which is more concerning to me than actually tipping into a corner. If I'm feeling safer with this bike sort of glued to the road on rails, then I'll feel more happy, because I don't have that worry of going into a corner and it's sliding out or losing grip or whatever. So that's a good point. But anyway, I'll leave it there for now. And what I'll do is I'll jump on again once I get closer to Barcelona, and then we'll do a bit more. Catch you later.